Yeah. Hi everyone. We have Nipun Iyer out here. He has got admission to IIT Bombay, which is amazing feat considering the fact that he's just in the final year, just passed out from Somaya Engineering College, and will be immediately, without any gap, joining IIT Bombay, which is amazing. So, how do you feel about it, Nipun?
Yes, so once I got to know about the results, I was quite elated. The complete journey of preparing for CAT, searching for which institutes are good and starting my preparation right till when I got the admission letter, it has been a culmination of a long and arduous journey, and it felt really nice when I saw my name that I have converted IIT Bombay.
Okay, so can you run us through your preparation as to how did you go about preparing for the CAT exam? So, when did you start and how did you go about preparing?
Yeah. So, in my second year, I was into the organizing committee of my college, and that is where I got my first taste of management and how organizations function in general. And after that, once it all ended, I thought about I thought that the MBA would be the right choice for me going forward. And I still remember vividly the day I came with my mother and came to your office to inquire about MBA. I mean how what the process of CAT is and how to go about it. And you said that for now you can start with puzzles and a bit of reading, leisure reading. And yeah, that is where my actual journey started, where I started solving puzzles. And I had a habit of reading, but I started doing it regularly and religiously. And slowly, as my third year started ending, I took it more seriously. Did topic wise uh, solving of quants, and side by side for verbal and LRD, I used to solve puzzles as you said, because it has to be more about intuition rather than a strict method, because CAT is an exam which is very different from the traditional exams that we have seen. I mean, it tests you more on your natural intuition to solve the question rather than a rigid method that we have been taught since our board exams and in schools and colleges. So that transition, it took time, but uh, with the right support and guidance, I made that transition to solving it intuitively rather than having a strict formula for solving it.
Okay, so it was, I think, 1.5 years that you've prepared for the CAT. So, and it was a long time to keep yourself motivated. So, how do you break up this 1.5 years? So, what did you do maybe 1.5 years back, and what did you do 1 year back? So, how do you break up your whole journey?
Yeah, so there's this actually one book I read, that is East of Eden, where where one of the protagonists says that if you have a long goal in sight, you just set that target and you forget about the target, and you just start doing the things that are needed to achieve it, and then you forget about the target. And that is what I did initially when I started with the journey. I just started reading for as a habit and as a curiosity to know more things. And because of that, reading became a habit of mine. And solving puzzles, I was always interested in chess. I mean, in my school days, I used to play chess, but then due to some reasons, I stopped it. So I started playing chess again. I started solving Sudoku. Sudoku was something new for me. So yeah, so I started doing these things and I got interested in them. And once as the CAT, I mean the date of CAT approached, I mean as around a year was left, I became a bit more serious about it. And I also knew that my end semester examinations will clash with my CAT exam. So because of that, I did the suppose I completed the syllabus of fonts early, because I knew that afterwards I won't get the time, because the challenges for a last year engineer, for a last year student in general, is much more different than the people who are working right now. So we had to manage our exams, final year projects, and also the preparations for CAT. And because of that, I completed my syllabus of fonts by around May, June, and then it was all about mock taking and how to improve yourself step by step.
Right. The fact that you were studying, I'm sure the timing issue was there. So, how many hours did you put in on an average every day for your preparation?
Yeah, so sir, even you said before during our mentorship sessions that even 2 to 3 hours of daily study is more beneficial than slogging it out for 2 or 3 days and then doing nothing. So I just ensured that even if I had a busy schedule, I ensured that at least I can do the half an hour, 45 minutes of reading and solving a puzzle or two. That was my bare minimum. And whenever I got time, I used to complete my syllabus of fonts first and do these solving 2 to 3 puzzles, doing the reading. And once my syllabus of fonts was complete, it was more about solving past year mock papers, picking 10 to 15 questions from past year mocks, solving them, then analyzing them. And this was before I took mocks. Once I started taking mocks, it was giving the 3 hour mocks and making sure that I analyze it in the same day or the succeeding day. So around, I would say on an average, I studied for 3 hours.
Okay.
That was bare minimum, and if I had some time, I would study for more.
Okay. So how many mocks did you write over the period of your preparation, approximately?
Yeah. So I started giving my mocks around June, and I would have given around 20 to 25 mocks because, as you said, that rather than giving mocks one by one and not analyzing them won't be beneficial. So giving a mock, analyzing it thoroughly, because CAT is not a speed-based exam where you have to focus on your speed. It is more about understanding what your mistakes are and how to improve them step by step. So whenever I gave a mock, I ensured that I analyze it in the same day or the day succeeding it, so that I remember the questions that I have attempted and what mistakes I actually did. And I maintained a book where I divided it into what I did right, what I did wrong, and which questions I should not have attempted, which I should have left, and which questions I should have attempted, or why I did a particular mistake. So these three sections I had made, and I spend more time on analysis rather than writing the mocks, because that is also of supreme importance. Because mock scores would fluctuate, but what is important is that you should learn something from every mock. That is of paramount importance.
Okay. So how many hours of analysis you did once you write a mock? Like say you wrote a 3 hour mock. What was the time that you spent on analyzing approximately?
So yeah, around 4 to 5 hours I would definitely give for my mock analysis. If it is not possible in the same day, I would do probably I would if I give a mock the same day, I will probably complete the verbal section on that day, and the other two sections when I'm fresh the next day, I would analyze them immediately, and then whatever topics I have to improve or what I did wrong, I used to focus on them in the remaining hours, and then once I believe that I have improved upon my mistakes, then I would give the second.
So considering the fact that your exams were coming close, as in when we were coming closer to the, so uh, did it affect your preparation? Did it stop your preparation, or what do you do closer to your CAT preparation,
Yeah.
CAT exam?
Yeah. So I actually spoke as my last year began. I had spoken with you regarding this, and you said that as the exams approach, you need not focus on CAT that much. You can focus on your exams. So I actually followed that for my unit test exam. So as my unit test exams came nearby, I used to just do the basic reading and solving puzzles. That was the bare minimum that I used to do, and I used to focus on my exams. And as the exams went by and there were no exams or something like that, then I used to focus on CAT. So since I already knew my final year exams would be clashing with my CAT examination, I took note of that and I completed the heavy workout that I needed for CAT beforehand, like completing the syllabus and stuff like that. And rather in the end, what I did was it was only about giving mock and analyzing it. And even as the D-Day was approaching, you said that if you hit a particular good score, then you need not give more you need not give more mock exams. Rather, you can do the basic reading and analyzing it. So once I reached a particular score and I was satisfied with it, I stopped giving mocks. I used to analyze my previous mocks, and reading was something which was constant throughout. Whether I was preparing for my examinations or for CAT, reading was something which was constant throughout the journey. So I used to read and solve the puzzles, and I stopped giving mocks around once I hit a target score, which was and the last 10 to 15 days I did the analysis, reading, and solving puzzles. And also, since our engineering examinations had a lot of maths involved in it, so uh, subconsciously I used to practice maths in that. So I stopped. So as the semester exams approached, I stopped giving any mocks, but the basic lightweight reading and everything I was doing that.
So did this CAT preparation affect your academic scores in college? I mean, did your marks in your
No,
college?
in my case, actually, it didn't affect. I mean, I got the same percentage of marks that I was getting beforehand, since I had already planned it out and I'd ensured that my CAT shouldn't affect my academics and my academics shouldn't affect CAT. So I had already made that mental note in my mind, and because of that, luckily it didn't affect me.
So can you run us through that day or the exam? Like how did the exam go by? So did it go as per your plan, as per your strategy, or was there some hiccups during the examination?
So the novelty of CAT is that the exams, the questions are never repeated, and also if you see every CAT exam, it has a curveball, it has something which takes student by surprise. So mentally, I was ready for that. Mine was second slot. So after the first slot, people were saying that verbal was tough, and uh, it has been unprecedented that verbal has been so tough in the recent years. But still, I thought that it is sensible to keep a calm mind and go there and see for yourself that what is happening. And I just backed myself that irrespective of what the question paper would be like, I've given enough marks of varied difficulty, of varied difficult sections, and I am adept at tackling whatever they will throw at me. So I had made that mental uh, image and a mental message I had given to myself that come what may, you have to keep your calm because CAT, more than being exam that tests your ability, it also tests your mental toughness. So the ones who remain calm under pressure would actually come out of it stronger. So that is something which I focused on. I thought that however the paper comes, you just focus on your strengths and you don't have to solve all the questions. You can leave some questions. It is just about solving the right questions. So even during the paper, at some point, I thought that verbal is being tough. A passage I started which was about colonialism, I guess. And as I was reading through it, I thought that this is tough. Let me leave it for now. I will come and solve this afterwards. There are other questions that I have to tackle first. So in that way, constantly motivating myself and assuring myself that it is okay to leave questions, and if it is tough, it will be tough for everybody. That helped me during the paper.
So otherwise the DILR and con went as per plan. I mean, you said you had a hiccup regarding one RCP question, but otherwise, I mean, did it have a problem as such in terms of you felt I would not make it, or what was the plan in DILR and con?
I guess
Hmm.
yes, sir. So I guess in every section you have a unique challenge that you have to face. For example, in LRDI, it is about choosing the right set. So in LRDI, I initially picked the two sets rightly, but when I was picking the third set, I understood after a certain point of time that it is good to leave this set and move forward. Similarly, in cons, I don't remember the question exactly, but in one of the questions, I spent too much amount of time thinking, and then finally I decided to leave that question and move forward. So those kind of challenges are there in every section. It is just that you have to pull yourself back uh, from the craziness of solving that question, getting that one question right. Because as engineers, we inherently love math and we love to solve questions. So whenever someone poses a challenge in front of you, you take it upon yourself to solve it until the last breath. But here, it was more important to leave the question because you have to understand that it is not about solving the questions right. It is about managing time as well. So in cons also, I faced similar situation and I left it and I moved forward. So yeah, in every section, there are unique challenges. It is not a cakewalk in any section for CAT. I mean, even if they say that a section is easy, it will be easy if you plan it properly. Otherwise, that section may also pose a hurdle for you.
Right. Is there any tips that you'd want to give to students who are preparing for the CAT examination?
Yeah. So as I said, sir, in my case, CAT was a long and arduous journey, and it is very. There were times when I used to feel low due to the mock scores, and I used to feel that whether I would be able to crack it or whether I would be able to make it to the dream B school. But you have to understand that CAT, for me personally, the journey of CAT, more than being a journey of cracking an exam and getting to B school, I guess it is a journey of life, wherein you work hard to get your goal, but in the end, more than you giving your best, it is also about some luck playing a part in it. So at the end of the day, whatever the result is, what my major takeaway from the journey of cat is that the journey matters more than the destination. So even if someone, for example, does not perform well on the D day, they should not take it that it is the end of the road. There are millions of, as you always used to say, that there are millions of roads ahead, millions of options ahead. Cat is just a facet of our life, and whatever the determination and perseverance that you show while preparing for an examination is the same discipline that you will follow in your life for any obstacle that you face. So if you consider cat as a metaphor for life, I guess it will become much more easier for you to face cat and face life in general. And also, when I come to the exam in general, exam in particular, I would say that do not take mock scores and these scores very personally. It is just to show that where you are right now and where you can reach after improving on them. And irrespective of mock scores, I guess it is important that whatever matters is what you do on the D day. And what you do on the D day is that how calm and composed you are, and how you also, another thing that is important is to have a plan B. In my case, I had a job in my case. So I always used to think that if CAT doesn't go well, I can always give another attempt. I have a good job. I don't have the urgency or any last ditch attempt to crack CAT. I will give my best, and I always have a plan B ready. If things do not fall in place, I always can do the job and give CAT the next year or the year succeeding that. So having a plan B, not taking mock scores personally, and enjoying the process rather than the destination, I guess is are some of the tips and takeaways that I took from my cat journey.
Perfect. Thanks, Nipun. Thanks for your time, and great to have you out here. All the best for your 2 years at IIT Bombay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.